As someone who's done 2 tours of Afghanistan, Tyson, how are you feeling about your work and what it means in the end?
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to sort of come to grips with. I don't think many of us sort of came out of there feeling incredibly optimistic about the future of Afghanistan, but you are there when you're working, thinking that you're doing the right thing and working towards a strategy. And I suppose the strategy part is the bit that was missing. We we didn't have one big idea that unified the campaign after we'd gotten rid of the Taliban and gotten rid of Al-Qaeda really early in the campaign. So this view about nation building, we just didn't do it. In 20 years after the fall of Japan, where it was subject to nuclear weapons and firebombing of Tokyo, they hosted the Olympics in 1964 as a functioning industrial liberal democracy. I don't think we were expecting that of Afghanistan, but I think we were probably expecting a little bit more than what we have.
And do you feel like there's an element of troops, our troops, and I don't want to be critical here because we're all proud of them, but is there an element of troops valuing or questioning the value of their work and the sacrifice that they made in the end?
Absolutely. And I think, that's not just true for soldiers and those civilians, diplomats, aid workers, intelligence officers, etc., that went over there. I think it's true for their families as well. Everyone's family had an impact from this campaign if they had a loved one that served there. And the question of was it worth it, I think, will be ringing in the minds of many that served in Afghanistan. I think charities such as Soldier On, I think organisations like the RSL, we know that they're getting a lot of calls and a lot of requests for help. And that's great that we're hearing about those people that are reaching out to those services. What worries me is all those people that aren't reaching out to those services who are feeling this way as well.
What sort of a blow has this done to American credibility, Tyson?
I think the blow had already been dealt. I don't think anyone looked at the last 10 years and thought that Afghanistan was a success. I don't think anyone looked at the last 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan and thought that American prestige had been enhanced. At some point, troops needed to withdraw. And there'll be debate over the speed at which that occurred and what was left for the Afghan people to be able to defend themselves. But I think American prestige has already been damaged by this campaign. I don't think this does a huge amount to make that worse, to be honest.